In this episode of Hollywood Insiders, we shine our daily spotlight on the 1995 cult classic comedy Friday. Discover the fascinating behind-the-scenes secrets, how Ice Cube and F. Gary Gray brought South Central Los Angeles to life on a micro budget, and the real reason why Chris Tucker's iconic performance was almost entirely improvised. In this video, the truth behind the epic $3.5 million budget in 20 days shot. Chris Tucker improvised genius subtitle, Bars in the Hood, Easter egg you missed. Why Friday remains a cultural phenomenon. Subscribe to Hollywood Insiders for your daily dose 1995 entertainment take place on a single day movies in South Central Los Angeles and exclusive to best industry. Craig Jones, played by Ice Cube, and Smokey, played by Chris Tucker, as they navigate a hilarious but high-stake neighborhood crisis. The setup, the problem. Craig was recently fired on his day off for allegedly stealing cardboard boxes. The conflict. Smokey, a fast-talking marijuana dealer, was supposed to sell $200 worth of weed given to him by the neighborhood supplier called Big Worm. What a name. The big mistake, instead of selling the weed, Smokey did it all himself, and Craig unwittingly took a few hits too. The ultimatum, the confrontation. Big Worm finds out and threatens to kill both Smokey and Craig, as if they do not hand over the $200 by 10 p.m. that night. The hustler. Craig and Smokey spent the rest of the day trying to scramble, borrow, or hustle to get the cash, facing a series of neighborhood uncertainties along the way. The neighborhood chaos. As the clock ticks down, the duo encounters a colorful cast of local characters. One is Debo, the terrifying neighborhood bully who steals jewelry, bikes, and money from everyone. Debbie, Craig's attractive neighbor who introduced a potential romance. Pastor Cleaver, a local preacher that caught in a tryst with a neighbor. Craig's father, Willie Jones, a stern but loving dog catcher who tries to teach Craig about the real manhood and the dangers of using guns. The climax. The drive-by. Big Worm thugs rode through the neighborhood in a van, attempting a drive-by shooting. Craig and Smokey narrowly escape by hiding in a pickup truck. The final fight. Debo assaults Debbie's sister, Red's girlfriend, and Debbie herself. Fed up with the bully, Craig stands up to Debo. The victory. Refusing to use his gun, Craig fights Debo using his bare fist and knocks him out with a brick, winning back the neighborhood's respect. The resolution. Craig gets his stolen change back, and Smokey steals back the money Debo took. Smokey calls Big Worm to pay off the debt with Debo's stolen cash and announce he is retiring from selling weed. Craig goes to sleep, having to survive the craziest Friday of his life. The Friday franchise expanded into a successful comedy trilogy that has defined an era of urban cinema, and it is officially gearing up for its highly anticipated return with a fourth film. Believe it or not, they are working on a fourth and probably final Friday. The complete franchise history. The franchise consists of three theatrical films and short Leo animation spin-off. Next Friday, 2000. Following the success of the original, Ice Cube returned as Craig to escape a neighborhood thug who escaped from prison. Craig moves to the suburbs to live with his lottery winner uncle, Elwar, and his wild cousin, played by Mike Epps in his breakout role. Next Friday, 2002, Craig and Data moves back closer to the neighborhood, sharing an apartment and working as mall security guards during the Christmas season. They got robbed by a fake Santa Claus on Christmas Eve and must hustle to pay their rent. Friday, the animated series 2007, an 8-episode animated series that aired on MTV2. It features the original characters but used a different voice cast, with Ice Cube and John Witherspoon serving as executive producers. What's next? Last Friday, the long-awaited fourth installment, Last Friday, is officially moving forward after years of development delays. Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema finalized a deal with Ice Cube to write, produce, and star in the final chapter. Production timeline. During a joint appearance on Entertainment Tonight, Ice Cube and Mike Epps confirms the filming is scheduled to begin later this year. The film is tentatively eyeing a release window as early as late 2026 or 2027. The clarification plot line. The story will fast forward more than 2 decades. Craig Jones and Day are forced to navigate a rapid changing South Central Los Angeles. The core conflict centered on the gratification of their beloved neighborhood, where corporate real estate developers are trying to buy out the block. The original crew has to band together to save their family legacy and protect the neighborhood. The cast and the return of Smokey. The confirmed OG Ice Cube, Craig, and Mike Epps, Day are locked in. The new blood. Mike Epps note that the film will pass the torch to a new generation of internet and stand-up comedians, including stars like DC Young Fly. The Chris Tucker factor. For decades, Chris Tucker resists returning due to personal and religious reasons. However, Ice Cube and Epps reveal that they are in actively talks with Chris Tucker, and he wants to return as Smokey. And so that's going to do it for this episode of Hollywood Insiders, as we take a look at Friday and the next film that is set to come out, which is going to be Friday 4. Hopefully it'll come out sometime late in 2026. Talks are still in progress with Chris Tucker to return as Smokey. But don't get your hopes up just yet. It's a wonderful movie to have in your portfolio or in your library. From the very first franchise or very first film on up to number 3. And so that's going to do it for today's video and episode. Once again, we thank you for rocking with us and tuning in to each and every episode. We ask if you would to support the channel simply by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you would know when we are doing a upload. Once again, you are viewing Hollywood Insiders, and I'm your host, John Schaff. In this episode of Hollywood Insiders, we shine our daily spotlight on the 1995 cult classic comedy Friday. Discover the fascinating behind-the-scenes secrets, how Ice Cube and F. Gary Gray brought South Central Los Angeles to life on a micro budget, and the real reason why Chris Tucker's iconic performance was almost entirely improvised. In this video, the truth behind the epic $3.5 million budget and 20 days shot. Chris Tucker improvised genius, subtitle, Bars in the Hood, Easter egg you missed, why Friday remains a cultural phenomenon. Subscribe to Hollywood Insiders for your daily dose of entertainment news, movies, facts, and exclusive industry insight.